My name is Bradley Pitts, and I'm an American artist with 2 degrees in aeronautics and astronautics from MIT. For the past 9 years, I've used various media and techniques to explore the slippage between personal experience and objective measures. Singular Oscillations attempts to know the variable gravity space of parabolic flight in its own right, rather than use it to understand its effect on other phenomena. To do this, the entire cabin of the Russian parabolic flight aircraft is cleared, except for one subject who is allowed to float and fall freely, with their eyes closed, ears blocked, and naked. While Singular Oscillations takes place within the context of a scientific facility, the expressed aim of the project is to produce immeasurable, subjective experience.
I am Christian Waldvogel, an artist and architect based in Zurich. I work to provide my audience with the ability to understand Earth as a planet. In order to do so, I implement experiments which investigate various aspects of the Earth. In this case, the fact that it rotates once around its axis every day. Now, turning with the Earth is a metaphor for taking part in society, and one of my roles as an artist is to not take part in society, but to look at it from beyond. This is what I tried to do with the project that you're about to see. And by the way, the pale dot back there is a photograph of the sun, taken by a camera that didn't turn with the Earth. This is the Earth turning. Filmed by a camera that's fixed in space. In Switzerland, the Earth turns at a speed of 1,158 kilometers an hour. So if the camera moves westward, against the rotation of the Earth, it does not turn with the Earth. It stands still. In spring of 2010, the Swiss Air Force agreed to cooperate on this project of mine, to stand still relative to the Sun, and to document this standstill.
Seitwärts filmen mit Horizont vertikal ist damit ich glaube da jetzt etwa 9 Minuten von da bis wir die Belichtung anfangen oben. Das war ein bisschen mulmig am Dienstag, ich hoffe. Aber ihr zieht es einfach durch, wie ich ziehe es nicht durch.
Besides filming the turning Earth up front, we wanted to produce something that actually shows that we stood still, that we didn't move, although traveling supersonic. Photographs of the night sky look like this. But actually, they should rather look like that. It's the Earth that's turning. We built a pinhole camera to the rear cockpit. We applied red filter gel to remove all blue light and used orthochromatic film which is sensitive to blue light only. Here I'm verifying the position of the sun in the canopy prior to the exposure. When we reached altitude, course and speed, I took a photograph of the sun, exposed the film for 4 minutes. Not moving across the sky during 4 minutes, the sun traced a point, the standstill point.
My name is Ayako Ono. I'm Japanese. My interest is to develop works of art which will act as psychological supports for long-term space missions and will stimulate space tourism in the future as well. Since 2010, a Japanese metal sculptor So Negishi and I developed a pair of space musical instruments suitable for weightlessness and was selected by Japanese Space Agency, JAXA, to represent the theme of cultural and artistic utilization of the International Space Station. The instruments were played by a NASA astronaut on board on February 10, 2012.
My name is Marko Peljhan. I'm here today to present you the Project Macula, which started in 1997. The project was a project where we set up a living module and working habitat module that traveled around the world in very different locations and different regions with the goal of setting up a permanent base in the Arctic and the Antarctic. Interestingly enough, it had the same length as the core module of the Mir space station and of the International Space Station later. And we were able to talk to cosmonauts on the Mir space station in 1997, which created a relationship with them. And in later years, we did a lot of video conferences with the cosmonauts in space and established a program of research in microgravity called Microgravity Interdisciplinary Research, a series of 10 microgravity flights where we brought together artists and scientists to work on flights and microgravity related problems. It was an exciting program and we are very happy to present it to you here.
I'm Angelo Vermeulen, artist, biologist and space researcher. I'm originally from Belgium, but right now I'm pretty much living all over the world. I'm interested in interfacing social systems, biological systems and technological systems. Biomod is an art project in which we integrate living biological ecosystems into computer sculptures. The project has been carried out with many different people all over the world. It's precisely the interfacing of biology and technology that led me to collaborating with the Melissa research program of the European Space Agency, and ultimately to create art inspired by space exploration.
My name is Kirsten Johannsen. I'm a media artist based in Berlin. I would like to introduce you to my artwork, The Nomadic Nature Kid. This work was the practical component of my dissertation, in which I looked for the benefits of an artwork implemented into the habitat of the future spacefarer. So I found out a set of principles that are suitable for the design of an effective artwork in order to create a virtual connection between the spacefarer and his place of origin. So let's have a look what I have found out. The Nomadic Nature Kid is an artwork designed for the future Mars explorer. I started from the idea that an individual's home is one of the most valuable places in the life of a human. Its unique meaning lays the path for the evaluation and perception of all other places. However, my idea of home is not restricted to one particular or predefined place. My notion is reflected in the creation of parallel localities, each one equipped with the props from a person's individual concept of happiness and safe place. With the help of these significant objects, a home can be re-established and experienced anew in many places. According to my understanding, these objects enable at-homeness at any time and any place. In the beginning of my research and work, I was invited to ESTEC as an artist in residence doing research on site. During this time, I conducted several interviews with astronauts, scientists and engineers. I then modified, in collaboration with the Erasmus User Center, my very first draft into a technical concept that turned the artwork into a scientific experiment, suitable for long-term astronauts and their psychological needs. For this purpose, I developed a concept of a portable garden. Its design is made of two hemispheres that are connected to each other. Miniature biotopes are mounted on the bottom surface of each half. The round body is transparent on all sides and can be used by the astronaut while floating in microgravity. 3 years later, I presented this early concept of the Nomadic Nature Kid within an art and science exhibition at HED in Switzerland. For the earthly presentation, I designed a so-called breadboard model and used it as demonstrator object from which problems could be identified and modification could get started. During the follow-up discussions, I became a context provider who moderated between earthly and non-earthly living conditions. It became obvious that I had researched humans in extreme environments, but now my research turned into a voyage about human existence and what artists could do for the individual in such a setting.
My name is Eva Schlegel. I'm a visual artist based in Vienna. The work you see here is called In Between. It was shown in India in March 2012. And what you can see is a floating image in the air, a floating image of flying or falling people projected onto fast-moving rotor blades. It's dangerous but attractive at the same time. And what I try to do is to portray the procedure of artistic trying or attempt of finding new ideas. So this is why the image itself seems to float in the air, which is an analogy of flying in your head by trying to get new grounds and overcome borders.
Hi, my name's Anna Hill. I'm an artist, innovator, and the founder of Space Synapse Systems, exploring the interrelationship between space and biotechnology platforms and human experience. My practice involves making connections between diverse data sources and experiences using communications technologies for life-sustaining art, design, and enterprise that brings soul to science and connects technology to contemporary human needs. My interests include environmental system science, consciousness, sensory perception, human space experience, and our human evolutionary instinct for exploration and survival. We share and design distributed systems of participation that connect audiences to remote environmental and space experiences, and citizen science to space expertise. The remote suit is a hybrid receiver and transmitter for use in remote regions, a data harvester that creates meaningful immersive interaction design using remote communications with Arctic environmental and space biofeedback. The Auroral remote suit prototype was developed with support from the electrical engineering workshops at the European Space Agency. The Auroral remote suit amplifies upper atmospheric sounds and uses real-time ionospheric data transmitting wirelessly into interactive art and design. I developed the remote suit in response to considering how our saturation of technology is a double-edged sword as we lose our perceptual and sensorial ranges and sensitization to our environments. The environmental suit has been proposed for the round-world adventurer Sarah Uten and uses space communications, satellite Earth observation and oceanographic data in a purpose-made ocean rowing and cycling adventurous suit.
Hi, my name is Dr. Sarah Jane Pell. I'm a contemporary performance artist, a commercial diver, and a researcher based in Australia. I'm completely fascinated by the techniques of interaction between performance, technology, and science. I bring you hydrophilia. This is one of my favourite words. It unites both the concepts of training, technology, and teamwork required for life in extreme spaces, whether it be underwater, where I'm most familiar, or out of space, which is a place I long to be. And in doing so, it starts to talk about some of these understandings of techno-cultural shifts that have articulated new interactions from architecture to experience, and that therefore exploring new encounters of the contemporary body and that very fragile embodiment of life support system, atmosphere, and portable life support that we take with us into new frontiers. In one way, it's an analogue. In another way, it's kind of a futuristic concept of what it's like to live and breathe in both the aquatic and the world of space.
My name is Timothy Roth. I'm a conceptual German artist reflecting the ideas of imaging and radiation and working very often with light projections and in public space. So with regards to space-related science, I'm interested in astrophysics, astrobiology, and how the human body interacts with radiations in space. My most recent project was from the distant past, a collaboration with the Hubble Space Telescope, and we projected with a green high-power laser spectra. This means dispersed light informations from the most distant objects in the universe as an animated light curve on prominent facades in Venice, Baltimore, and New York. A color bead of the primordial universe.